Hello everyone, my name is Himabindu. In today's class, we are going to discuss about Anthropology Optional. This class is for the students who have chosen Anthropology Optional for the 2023 exam and also for the students who are a bit confused in choosing their optional. Let us first see what is anthropology. Anthropology is a holistic study about human beings. It studies every aspect of the human life, like, for example, social, cultural, biological, historic, geographic, psychological, medical, etc. It studies about the past, present, and the future of the human beings. In general, any subject can be categorized either as a science or as a humanity. For example, physics, botany can be categorized as sciences. History, sociology can be categorized as humanities. But anthropology has a unique feature. It is both a science and also a humanity because it studies about both physical and social aspects of the human life. Alfred Kroeber beautifully described anthropology as a scientific humanity and a humanistic science. It's a humanistic science because it is a science about the human beings, and it is a scientific humanity because it is based on empirical evidence for all the observations. That is anthropology as a subject. Let us now discuss about how to choose the option, because choosing optional is a determining part of the selection procedure. What should be the features of a good optional? The syllabus of the subject must be short and clearly defined, means it should be clearly mentioned from where to where we have to study. And the questions must be repetitive and straightforward. And the subject should have some overlap with the other GS papers so that it will save a lot of your time. And one more aspect we have to take into consideration is how the subject is doing in the overall selections in the recent years. That is, the number of ranks in the top 10 and on the whole, the number of students selected from that optional. Now let us see how is anthropology on these parameters. Let us first discuss about how scoring anthropology is. When it comes to the scores, we can consider 2 points. One is the number of students in the top 10 ranks. In that aspect, anthropology is doing quite good in the past few years. In the past 5-6 years, there are many students in the top 10 ranks. But that cannot be the only criteria, because it's a rare thing that a student find himself in the top 10 ranks. So the other important criteria that we have to check is the average marks of all the students who appeared the exam with anthropology optional. Because sometimes a student may get like some 500 rank but might score very good in anthropology optional. So the actual criteria that we have to check is the average marks. So let us see the average marks of anthropology optional in comparison with other popular optionals. Anthropology average marks 264, whereas for geography it is 253, for history it is 259, for PSIR it is 253, and for public administration it is 260. So anthropology is doing quite good in the average scores. The next aspect that we have to consider is the selection ratio. That is, how many students are appearing the exam with that optional and how many students are clearing it. Sometimes we feel like an optional is doing quite well and many students clear the exam with that optional. But we are missing one point, that how many students have written the exam with that. What is the proportion of the selection? How many students wrote with that optional and how many students selected? So let us see that scientific parameter and how anthropology is doing on that parameter. Like, for example, anthropology in the year 2016, when 345 students have written, that is 7 students cleared the exam. It means the selection ratio is 10.7. in comparison with 10.5 for public administration, 6.4 for political science. Okay, because many students write the exam with that option. And 5.8 for geography, because again the same reason, many students choose that particular option. And 5.7 for sociology. On this parameter also anthropology is doing quite good. Now let us see about the syllabus of the subject so that we can understand, is it having any overlap with the other GS papers? Because if the optional subject is having an overlap with the other GS papers, it saves a lot of time for preparation. Like for anthropology, it has a good overlap with the essay, because usually essay topics are from the social aspects, like for example, women empowerment or poverty or religious issues or ethnic issues, some social aspect. I can give you one very good example. One of the essay topic in the recent years is culture is what we are and civilization is what we have. So that particular topic is exactly from the anthropology syllabus, because we have culture and civilization in the anthropology syllabus. So there is a very high chance that any one of the essays will have an overlap with the topics in anthropology syllabus. And then GS paper 1. In GS paper 1, there is a topic called Indian society, which is having huge overlap with the socio-cultural part of anthropology optional. And then GS paper 2. Social justice part of the GS paper 2 overlaps with anthropology optional. And then GS paper 3, science and technology. The physical anthropology, that is the biological aspects of the human beings, is having some overlap with the biotechnology part of science and technology in GS paper 3. And then ethics and integrity paper, GS paper 4. It is also having some overlap because anthropology studies about like the theories, philosophical, sociological aspects. Okay, so in that part, it is having some overlap with the ethics and integrity as well. In addition to that, because anthropology is having archaeology, it overlaps with ancient history, and we study about the constitutional provisions for SC, ST, OBC, minority issues and all. It has a bit of overlap with polity and other aspects of the GS. It means anthropology optional is having a good overlap with the other GS papers. Let us now see a brief overview of the anthropology syllabus. What all topics are covered? Like any other optional, anthropology is also divided into paper 1 and paper 2, paper 1 and paper 2. And in paper 1 again section A, section B. In paper 2 again section A, section B. Now we are discussing the syllabus in the paper 1. In the paper 1, we have the unit 1 about human evolution. It studies about how the man evolved from the apes. And unit 2 is about marriage, family, kinship, society, culture. You can remember this unit like a couple gets married and then they'll form a family. Beyond family, they have other relatives. The relationship is called as a kinship. And a larger group to which the human being belongs to is the society, and every society will have a culture. And these are the aspects in the life of all of us. So indirectly, anthropology is a study about our own selves. So we find it interesting. And the next unit is about economic anthropology. It studies about the evolution of economic organization, that is from the hunting and gathering stage till the modern day Bitcoin stage, how the economy evolved over a period of time. And then the next unit is about political anthropology. It studies about the evolution of political organization, that is from a tribal chief to the modern day decentralized democracy, how the political organizations evolved over a period of time. and then about religion. In the paper one, it is not about religion, is not about some Hinduism, Buddhism, etc. It is about what is religion. That is a very fundamental definition, that is a belief in the supernatural beings and how that started. What is the first form of religion? The first form of religion is belief in soul, and it is called as animism. From animism, that is belief in soul, then after that animal worship, nature worship, ancestor worship, etc. Till the modern day monotheism, polytheism, how the religion evolved, how the religion originated, and how it evolved over a period of time. And then the next unit is about anthropological theories, which we usually call as a thought. Like many other subjects, thought is like the pillar of the subject. It is the most important part of anthropology. In this, we study some theories about culture. Okay, it studies primarily the theories about how the culture originated, what are the factors that influence culture, etc. A few theories about culture. And then culture and language. Unit 7, culture and language. In this, we study about what is the relation between language and culture. We understand that language is the vehicle for culture because it is language through which we communicate our culture to the next generation. And also we study that why and when man started speaking, because other animals do not speak. Speech is one characteristic feature of human being. So at what point of time, at what stage, like Australopithecus or Neanderthal or Homo erectus or Homo sapiens itself, at what stage of evolution we started speaking and why we started speaking. So these are the aspects that we study here. And like Unit 8 studies about research methods. This is primarily about social research, and in the syllabus they have given research methods like interviews, surveys, questionnaires, case studies, participant observation, that is an anthropologist observing a society by participating in their day-to-day activities, etc. These are the research methods using which they do research on various social aspects like economic anthropology, political anthropology, religion, marriage, family, etc. That is how Unit 8 is linked to other units like 3, 4, 5, 6. And then Unit 9, genetics. This subject is similar to the biotechnology part of the science and technology. It studies about DNA, genes, inheritance, some chromosomal aberrations like Down syndrome, etc. And applied human genetics like recombinant DNA technology, genetic engineering, etc. So it studies about genes and DNA. And then human growth and development. Unit 10, human growth and development. This particular unit deals about the human growth and development from the zygote, that is the moment the egg and sperm fuse with each other and form the zygote, till the death of the person, the complete life, all the stages. Prenatal, that is before the birth. Natal, that is the procedure of the birth, the labor process. And then postnatal, that is growth after the birth, till the death of the person. Zygote to the death of the person, the complete all stages of the human growth and development. And then Unit 11 is about fertility and demography. Fertility is the ability to reproduce, and its consequences demography, that is increase in the population. So fertility, demography, the demographic profile, okay, and the reasons for the growth of Indian population, and what are the measures taken to control the Indian population, and sex ratio, reasons for the skewed sex ratio. These are the topics that we study in the Unit 11. And coming to Unit 12. Unit 12 is about applications of anthropology. In this unit, we study about where all we can use anthropology in our life. Like, for example, sports anthropology, If you choose a sport depending on an understanding of your physical features, then the chance of success in that sport is more. For example, if a fatty, obese person chooses athletics as a sport, then the chance of success is less. Or else a very weak person, very thin and weak person chooses wrestling as a sport, the chance of success is less. So when we choose the sport depending on our physical features, the body features, then the chance of success is more. So this is how anthropology, that is a knowledge about human body, helps us in choosing the right sports at personal level, and also like at the national level. It is a quite important topic, because when a country selects the sportsmen according to their physical features, then the chance of success in some international sports like Olympics, Commonwealth Games increases. That brings fame and revenue to the country. And then we have applications of anthropology in crime investigation, that is forensic anthropology, and in solving the disputed paternity cases, in designing the defense and other equipment, like say for example, the Rafale fighter jets were customized for the Indian Army physical measurements, average measurements. And that is the syllabus in the paper 1. Now let us see an overview of the paper 2 syllabus. In the paper 2, the very first unit is Indian archaeology. In this, we deal with the topics like the Paleolithic culture of India, Mesolithic culture of India, Neolithic culture, Indus Valley civilization, some fossils found in Indian subcontinent like Narmada Man, Himabindu, Ramapithecus, ethnoarchaeology, etc. This part of the syllabus is having some overlap with the ancient history part of the GS. Coming to the Unit 2. Unit 2 is demographic profile of India. In a way, it is a continuation of Unit 11 of the paper 1. While Unit 11 of paper 1 deals about the demography in general, Unit 2 of paper 2 deals about demography, particularly in the Indian context. Like for example, ethnic elements in India, like Aryan, Dravidian, Mongoloid, debates related to Aryan invasion, linguistic elements in India, distribution of Indian population into different religions, and reasons for the growth of Indian population, sex ratio trends, that is sex ratio in different states, sex ratio in different caste groups, religious groups, etc. These are some topics discussed in the Unit 2, that is demographic profile of India. Unit 3 and Unit 5. Unit 3 and Unit 5 of paper 2 can be broadly categorized as Indian society. In this, we have topics like Varna system, like Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, the Chaturvarna theory, caste system, origin of caste, Varna and caste differences, ashramas like Brahmacharya ashram, Grihastha ashram, Vanaprastha ashram, Sannyas ashram, Purusharthas like Dharma, Kama, Artha, Moksha, Sanskritization, where the lower caste people imitate the lifestyle of the higher caste people for a better dignity in the society, karma theory, rebirth, village studies, Jajmani system, which is a type of a barter system where goods and services are exchanged. These are the topics discussed in the Unit 3 and Unit 5. Together can be categorized as Indian society. Coming to the Unit 4. Unit 4 is about Indian anthropologists, Indian thinkers. From this unit, we get questions like discuss the contributions of Verrier Elvin, discuss the contributions of S.C. Dubey, Iravati Karve, M.N. Srinivas, D.N. Majumdar, etc. So we have a few Indian thinkers and their contributions. Unit 6 to 9. 6, 7, 8, 9, 4 units of the paper 2 deals with tribal India. In this, we have topics like tribal classification, that is classifying the tribes based on the language they speak, the religion they follow, the occupation they follow, their geographic distribution like South Indian tribes, Central Indian tribes, tribes in the Northeast, tribes in the Andaman Nicobar Islands, etc. And then the tribal problems like poverty, indebtedness, land alienation, displacement from the forest due to industrialization, okay, health issues, education related problems, problems of the tribal women, etc. And because they are facing lots of problems, some developmental schemes by the government and the constitutional safeguards to uplift the tribal groups. Still, if they are unhappy, it leads to the tribal movements. These are some topics discussed in the tribal India. So, with this, we have completed the overview of anthropology syllabus. Now, let us see the relative proportions of different parts of the syllabus. Like, for example, physical anthropology. Physical anthropology is nothing but biological anthropology, and it is 24% of the total syllabus. And how I arrived at this 24%? Because in the anthropology syllabus, we have a total of 21 units, that is 12 units in the paper 1 and 9 units in the paper 2. In the paper 2, there is no biological anthropology. We have physical anthropology only in the paper 1. That is unit 1, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So 5 out of total 21 units, that is 24% is physical anthropology. Coming to socio-cultural anthropology, that is 2 to 8 of paper 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7 units out of 21 units, that is around 27% of the total syllabus is socio-cultural anthropology. Coming to Indian anthropology, this is unit 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 out of 21, that is 19% is Indian anthropology. 5% is archaeology, that is unit 1 of paper 1 plus 1.8 of paper, unit 1 of paper 2 and 1.8 of paper 1. Unit 1 of paper 1 broadly deals with the evolution of the human beings, but in that there are 8 chapters. The last chapter in that, 1.8, is about archaeology. 1.8 of paper 1 is world archaeology, whereas unit 1 of paper 2 is Indian archaeology. Together it amounts to be some around 5% of the total syllabus. Tribal India, that is 6 to 9, that is 4 out of total 21 units, that is 19% is Tribal India. This is how we can broadly classify the anthropology syllabus. Now coming to the next question. Do we need any specific educational background to choose anthropology? There is a major misconception, there is a wrong opinion about anthropology that it is more suitable for biology students. And it is absolutely not like that. To burst these myths, one very important point is almost all the students who got top 10 ranks from anthropology optional are engineering students. Almost all of them who got the ranks in top 10 from anthropology optional. Almost all of them are from engineering background. So this certainly proves that there is no need of any specific educational background to choose anthropology optional. A student of any background can choose it. When it comes to bio portion, it is 24% of it. On the whole, 75% is like humanities subject only, like general topics that we experience in our day-to-day life. And this 24% of the physical anthropology will be the most scoring and most interesting part of the total anthropology. Not at all difficult. So a student of any educational background can choose this optional. Next, coming to the book list. As a part of my course, I provide the complete printed notes. It will include the notes for every word given in the syllabus. That will be mostly sufficient, 99% of the questions, or else I can say like this. If the question comes from the syllabus, definitely you will find it in the notes that we provide. But sometimes they are giving out of syllabus questions also, new questions, slightly different questions, slightly twisted questions are coming. So that is the reason why I cannot give 100% assurance. But if the questions coming from the syllabus, then definitely you will find it in the notes. Still, if you want me to refer some reference textbooks, then this is the book list that you can follow. Then coming to how to score high in anthropology. Not only in anthropology, in general, how to score high marks. The first thing is time management. Most of the times, like what we do is spend a lot of time with few questions. That is, with the first question, we spend almost more than half an hour. With the second question, also half an hour. Last question, we are left with only 5 to 10 minutes. This is not correct. So a proper time management is very important, because excellent answers for a few questions will fetch you lesser marks than an average answer for all the questions. Then focus on completing the paper rather than few best answers. Highlighting the points. We have to understand that the examiner do not have a responsibility of searching for the points in your answer. It is our responsibility is to show the points to the examiner. You have written the thinker name, you have written a book title, or you have written the name of a concept in anthropology and underline it. And then use more subheadings, because every time there is a new subheading, in general, our attention goes to that point to see what you have written under that subheading, so that your answer and the points that you have written will get a better visibility. And underline out and box the important points, especially the subheadings. Use diagrams, flowcharts, maps, tables, graphs, etc. wherever it is possible. But taking these instructions very seriously, because these instructions are being given by many rankers and many teachers. Taking these instructions very seriously, some students, what they do is, they're underlying almost every sentence they write as if like they have written in a ruled paper. Don't do that, because again with that, the important points are being diluted. And taking the cue that diagrams are important, they are drawing very like funny and childish diagrams also. Don't do that. Draw the diagram only when the situation demands. Draw the flowchart only when the situation demands. And then we should not start an answer with a flowchart, or don't end an answer with a flowchart. Beginning and ending, that is introduction and conclusion, should be with some impressive sentences, nice paragraph, a nice introductory paragraph and a nice concluding paragraph are important. So never start or end an answer with a diagram or a flowchart. So it means ignoring these instructions is also risky, and taking these instructions more seriously is also risky. Maintaining a balance is very important, because some students fill the total answer with flowcharts. Some students never use a flowchart. Both are risky. A good balance of paragraphs, flowcharts, diagrams will be impressive in the total answer sheet. And then writing more examples, case studies wherever possible, new developments, research work. And then let us suppose, like, you have studied something in the newspaper, but it is not directly related to the question. Then you can use a subheading like contemporary relevance, and you can write under that. For example, the question is about Neanderthal. And recently, the Nobel Prize was given to the complete genome sequencing of the Neanderthals. It is not directly related to the question given, but still you can write it under the subheading contemporary relevance. Then, following the introduction, body, conclusion format, but it's not that you have to use the subheadings like introduction, conclusion, etc. But still it is okay if you use the subheading like introduction, conclusion, but please don't keep a subheading as body. It does not look good. Okay. In the body, you can use various subheadings. So that we can do. Okay. Then use subheadings like anthropological significance, contemporary relevance, etc. And quote the thinkers wherever possible. and interrelate the topics, interrelate between different units of the paper 1 with paper 2, some thinkers in the paper 2, unit 6 paper 1 thinkers in the paper 2, like that. And relating the answers to both science and humanities perspective. Like for example, we have biological reasons for the origin of religion, like an evolved human brain. We have a biological reason for the marriage as a social institution. We have an erect posture. We stand straight and we walk on two legs. Those are the reasons for the origin of social institutions like marriage, family. So that is how we can relate between social and physical aspects of the human life.